Watch out. Welcome to AFL Today. This is the team's live stream. We better turn off the TV, Gerald, over in the background, I think. Just having a watch, seeing what's going on. This is AFL Today, and I am Joel Selwood. No, I'm not. I'm not Joel Selwood. I can actually string a sentence together and don't have CTE that I know of. I am Jaymz Clements, and I'm the host of AFL Today. You can also see me on the official SuperCoach AFL podcast and that video as well. You can also see me on NBA Australia. But joining me for the Thursday evening teams episode, that's it, round 2, the teams. Wait for the teams, boys. We've got Leo and the Stats Boy. What's going on over there, social guy Leo?
Feeling good, Jim. Up and about. Going good.
Going good.
Just gave you 3 different. You're excited for that?
I am, until we lose. But before that, I'm excited for now.
He doesn't have too much else going on in his life, Leo.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes.
It's taken us a minute and we've already low blowed him. So.
Yeah, what a surprise.
But I'll tell you what, this is AFL Today. We're going to go through a bunch of the teams, talk out every single game in round 2, because the cool thing is footy's back.
Yes.
That's right. It's my favourite time of year. Footy is back. It's still warm outside. It's like, this is great. But you can, of course, subscribe to the AFL Today show on YouTube, across all of your podcast apps. Check out all the socials, and away we go. But before we get into the teams, Dingai, local Dingais, that's right. Weirdos, footy nuffs, that's what you are, aren't you?
Experts. I think we're experts. I'd say.
Sure.
A little bit of news from the last day or so, because obviously we put out our Wednesday show. We covered off a lot of the midweek footy madness. Jamara Ugle-Hagan. Every team under the sun apparently is going to get him.
Yeah.
Every single one. They're like, we're freeing up cap space to get Jamara. You know who you should go and get? You should probably go get Jamara. Jamara's awesome, man. Go get Jamara. Like, literally every team is like, I think we could use a Jamara. Carlton is like, we've already got 2 forwards. I think we're all right. There's a couple of other teams.
Most teams other than Carlton could use him, to
be honest. He's awesome. He's about to blow up. But the thing is he going to stay? What do you think, guys? Just really quickly.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay. The Dogs have to keep him, obviously. The other guys aren't really going too well for him. You got Rory Love and Norton, who were very shaky last week. He's got to stay, and I think it was reported by Tom Morris, I believe, today that he is staying. So we'll have to find out if that's true or not, but I think that sounds pretty true.
What are your vibes on this simple idea of, in terms of AFL contract length and like the guaranteed aspect of it? Because like you think about, obviously, a lot of the stuff that I cover is US sports, and you have guaranteed, non-guaranteed contracts in the NBA and NFL. It does feel like AFL, it doesn't matter how long you sign for, they can extend you. Or they could just go, actually
just get rid of you.
In a year or 2, he's free. He's off to, like, I don't know, Port.
Yeah.
And you're like, come on, what happened there, man?
Yeah.
I know, it's a
was
weird...
that a Jason Horn-Francis?
It feels like our approach to like the salary cap and contracts is like, there's no sort of real built-in strata, which makes it very difficult, I think, for the layman, like your mate Jim, to actually sort of get a hold of it, right? Like really easily. Whereas I think in the NBA and NFL, it's really, really easy for just like casual fans to even know kind of what's going on. It's like LeBron James makes $50 million a year. So, yes.
Yeah, he does.
That's a lot.
That is
the max.
That's what Jamara's on, I think.
Jamara's probably going to make, he could be the first $2 million man. It's like, all right, how does this all work? Who knows? But it's kind of fun. But speaking of contracts, Matty Nix.
Yeah.
Contract extension out there in Adelaide.
Don't know about this one.
Jump the gun? What do you reckon?
Yeah.
What do you reckon there?
Yeah, I think so. Needed to make finals first, I think, before this one happened. But I think it's elevated his pressure actually now. They have to make finals or else they're going to look a bit silly.
Yeah, I think he's a good coach. I think apparently all the players love him and he's got everyone around them.
Yeah, but they're always going to say that, aren't they?
Yeah, but it just seems like I've heard from like other coaches talking him up and things like that.
You've heard directly?
Yeah, not directly, but maybe a bit directly. But yeah, I think after this year they're going to make finals and then you'll be like, all right, we've ticked that off because I've got a young group. Yeah, so I think it's a bit of a year early maybe.
Jump the gun.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, they jumped the gun.
A little bit.
Right, let's do some game previews. That's right, round 2. Thursday night footy. See how I did that? It's like the Friday night footy, but I turned into Thursday. We covered this in Wednesday's show, St Kilda versus Collingwood. In terms of the teams, obviously, as they came out, Crouch has dropped, Charlie Dean, Ash Johnson, Will Hoskin-Elliott all dropped. I was at the Sport NXT conference yesterday, and they had Flea McRae up there.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about...
Yeah.
Or Fly.
Yeah. Actually, when you
Flea's
said
Daryl Waitman.
That really messed with my head. I'm like...
Yeah, Waitman's Flea. Fly. He was out there and talking about how tough it is to drop role players and how important that is to like basically having that sort of structure, that built-in cohesion for your teams. And then the teams come out and you're like, Ash Johnson probably had that one coming. Will Hoskin-Elliott hasn't done much. And Charlie Dean, here we are. Like, I don't know.
I think Charlie Dean's a little bit stiff because
he made some mistakes.
He did make a fair few mistakes, but I feel like Darcy Moore running up the ground for 100 metres didn't help him. But yeah.
True that.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Absolutely butchering it. But,
yeah, it didn't help.
Speaking of butchering, the pig is back. Tom Mitchell, good to see that. But either way. To re-jigger our picks, who did you actually pick for that, Leo?
I think Pies will win this one, but it'll be very close. I'm thinking around a goal.
Yep.
I ended up the Pies as well, and you...
I went the Saints. I just can't tip the Pies at the moment. I think the Saints will use the clamps, as you like to say, Jim.
I do love the clamps.
The clamps.
You want to use these clamps? These clamps that I use every freaking day of my freaking life. I do like that Alex has jumped on, despite being too much of a sook to actually jump onto the show.
Yeah, what are you doing, Alex?
He's like too busy on the old tweet machine. Smart by Jamara and crew. Sign on to the end of 2027. Get all the cash from Tassie. To be honest, I'll pay that.
Jamara to Tassie confirmed. Is that what Alex is saying?
He reckons. Otherwise... Friday night footy.
Much better.
Friday night footy. I just want a pie and a beer. A weird, awesome setup, I think.
Yeah.
So Thursday, you've got St Kilda Collingwood. We have no idea what's going to happen in that game beyond that it could easily turn into a just gouge your eyes out slog.
Slogfest.
Friday, we have Adelaide Geelong, which is, again, an absolute mystery box of who knows what could happen. We saw these two teams play pretty similar-ish, actually, kind of in the end games, right? Geelong gave up the ghost late, nearly lost it. Adelaide gave up the ghost early, came flying back and nearly won their game. Yeah. But this is back in Adelaide. You had the awesome offensive Crows from last year. They do get Tex back as well. You got the Cats who, obviously last year, down here, middle of the table sort of stuff. Their first road trip after playing at GMHBA last week against the Saints. How are we seeing this one in terms of the teams? What are we looking at? What are the key aspects, stats guy?
Key aspects, like we talked about last week on this show on Thursday, the offense and defense. I like to look at the Crows' offense. They were first in offense last year, 95.3 points a game. I think, especially at home, their home would be closer to 110. They were unbelievable at home last year. So I think that's going to be really interesting to see if they can keep up that form like they had last year. That's why, I'm leaning towards the Crows at home. If this was at GMHB, I'd definitely be tipping the Cats. But Crows at home they had a lot of games kicking over 120 against some really good teams last year. So that's the main thing. I think the Crows offense just coming straight out of the middle, kicking a lot of goals. And Tex is back. Tex is back means they're going to score a few more goals than last week. I know it was raining down sideways, but once you have Tex back in that side, they should be able to kick a winning score, I reckon.
Nice one. Tanner Bruin comes, he leaves, he got injured.
Yes.
But obviously for the rest of the, for the Crows, they get Mark Kane, Ed McHenry as well. And that's, I don't know, it's a weird setup. It's actually Tom Stewart's 150th game as well. And my favourite thing this week has been aggrieved Cats fans going, why is everybody talking about Nick Dacos playing 50 games? Tom Stewart's playing 150.
What about Travis Boak?
350 for Boakey. Like, it's chaos.
50th.
But the thing is, 50, it gives you so much more, I don't know, stuff to go, wow, these are the best 50 games we've ever seen from a player. And 150 for Tom Stewart's like, he's just another one of the Geelong Carpenters down there. Good on him. I love the Carpenters down there, down the road. But it does feel like a really, really good test for Geelong's defense, doesn't it? Like right off the bat. Last week, St Kilda could never really get much going until late. And then when they did, the floodgates opened. So I'm sort of leaning towards Adelaide at home. How are we feeling, Leo?
Yeah, I want to look at the other matchup in terms of the Cats forward line versus the Crows back line.
Yeah.
You look at the Crows back line, there's some very inexperienced players down there. Josh Worrell.
I believe earlier today you were both bemoaning the fact that you didn't know any.
No,
of the
I
Crows
wasn't.
back
That was
I
I think they're not too bad, but definitely on the weaker side compared to the rest of their list.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Interesting.
They're not too bad, but they're inexperienced. Like Max McAllion is going to be a great player, but coming up against this Cats forward line, like I think Jez is going to have a really big impact in this game. And saying all of that, I think Crows sneak out a win here. I think that home factor is too good to ignore. They're just so good at home. Yeah. But that's going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
Nice one. Stats guy, who tipping?
Crows. I said they were going to be top 4. I was almost regretting that last week, but that there's literally raining sideways. That could have gone anyway, that game. So Crows at home, good conditions. They're gonna kick a massive score.
I think the home thing is just too much for Adelaide.
Yep.
Yeah. So the line in that one is 12.5. I've got Adelaide by 18. You have both got them not covering that one.
Yeah, I reckon this will be really close. So Geelong could cover that one.
Yeah, Cats have enough experience to keep this one close.
One thing that worries me is Jeremy Cameron just going bang.
Yeah, it could kick
Tomahawk going bang against that back line.
I'm not too feared about Tomahawk anymore.
Too feared?
Too worried? years. Yeah.
Saturday! Let's move on from Stats Guy stumbling over his words. North versus Freo. This is his beloved North Melbourne Kangaroos at Marvel Stadium. 1:45 p.m. on Saturday. Freo, the biggest surprise winners, I reckon, probably from last week. What do you reckon?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
No one expected that.
Can't believe they beat Brisbane.
The way they beat Brisbane.
The way
well,
they did it
handled
easy,
them.
yeah.
Caleb Sarong racking up more touches than, I don't know. I could insert a few jokes that I'm not going to because I want to keep this on air. Obviously, the Roos 17th across the ranks on offense and defense last year. The Dockers 11th and 14th, so 11th in defense, 14th offense. But they looked awesome last week. Jaymz crushing it. Sarong obviously getting all the touches in the middle. North were brave in defeat. But that doesn't mean anything in my book.
I've heard that too many times. Yeah.
Point is, they're playing this one at Marvel. Stats boy, take us through your team.
Look, if I think I had some tips ready to go for this round, and then Freo randomly beat Brisbane and ruined all my plans about tipping North this week, so I can't tip us, but I think this will be pretty close. The line's 17.5. Wouldn't mind North covering that line just because at Marvel we're a much better team. What were we? 17th in offense last year, but we covered the line and were really decent at home scoring. It was like a lot of 80-plus points from our end. Larky going off and things like that. I think Larky can have a big game. I spoke during the week. He got some inexperienced defense. Draper's coming in, I think, for his first game for Freo. So they brought him in. I don't think he's going to go well against Larky. And then you got Cox out, Luke Ryan, who likes to play off. So I think, it'll be a high-scoring game. But I just don't trust North to stop the likes of Sarong, Brayshaw, Amos as well. Amos, he was really good last week. So... yeah, I got to lean towards Freo, unfortunately, instead of my North boys. But, I think it'll be pretty close.
So, Freo over the last, 10 years? Something like that. Pretty rough record at Marvel, 17 and 24, 42%.
Okay.
They've had some good teams in that time. How do you feel about this one, Leo?
I think Freo win, but North cover. I think it'll stay close. They were on a 6-day break coming to Melbourne. I think that'll play a bit of a factor, especially early on in the year.
Yep.
North showed last week that they can hang around, and that was with the GWS side. They got within a goal, I think, in the third quarter, maybe.
Yeah, end of the first half, but start of the third,
They were still hanging around with a great team. So, I think Freo will do enough because they were really impressive.
Yep. Nice one. They're actually 4-9 over the last 5 seasons.
At Marvel.
Just saying.
Not
that
ideal.
is why I'm taking North Melbourne.
Really?
I just feel like the Roos can actually hang with a team like Freo. I think just drag them down in the mud, then run over the top.
Killed them after
pretty
that.
good.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be very weird for Freo. Matt Taberner, Josh Draper, Brandon Walker, and Jaeger O'Meara.
That's a big in, O'Meara.
O'Meara's pretty handy.
Taberner as well, actually. I didn't even think about him,
Jai Simpkin and Luke McDonald in for your...
I'm very happy, Simpkin's back, obviously with concussion. Who was it again that bumped him? I can't remember.
Jimmy Webster.
Oh, yeah, bloody Jimmy. I hate Jimmy Webster. Anyway.
You just hate dude's name Jim. That's all right. North by 12 is my call. Leo, what is your call?
I think Saints. I think Freo will win this one by 13 points.
Stats guy?
Saints on the mind.
Freo by 15. North
no
cutter.
faith. I can't believe you had no faith.
Nah.
Hawthorn Melbourne at the MCG Saturday afternoon. Should be a cracking game, I'll tell you. Hawks and Demons. This is the replay of the 1988 grand final we've all been waiting for, isn't it? Leo's
in 2024, when
Leo
one team's
literally
bad,
had to think about it and go, wait, was it?
When one team's good and one team's bad, it's a replay we've all been waiting for.
A weird game. Hawthorn, how did you feel about them last week, Leo?
I wasn't too upset. Like, we had our chances,
Probably
which was
won,
frustrating.
Yeah.
Bad kicking's bad football, though, so we really need to tidy that up this week, especially against a better team in Melbourne. I don't think Melbourne will let us run through the ground like Essendon did, because there were some passages of play where I thought this is great ball movement, and then we're going to come up against
Melbourne,
the D's who will be a lot stricter defensively. So, I'm not too confident on this one.
No, that's, I reckon, definitely fair enough.
The only lineup change that we can see is that Tajai Woden is out for Harrison Petty for the Demons, which is a big in.
Yeah, Petty can play anywhere, as he showed last year, so don't mind he's in.
Interesting one. The Hawks did play the Demons pretty tough last year, 87-60, and then they got smashed early on, but that was before the Hawks really got anything going, right? So that was back in May. They got killed. Later in the year, put up a bit of a fight and lost by 27. I am tempted. The line is 23.5, so 4-goal line. I'm actually tempted to take Hawks to cover that, just if they can break it open a little bit on the G.
They are a much better team at the G than away.
Especially being a young side.
Yeah.
Yes,
But Melbourne win.
Yeah.
Leo?
Yeah, Melbourne win handsomely. I think 49 points.
49. Handsomely.
Like Petrarca handsomely or Clayton Oliver handsomely?
Petrarca wearing his TN boots handsomely.
Like Finn McGuinness handsomely.
Oh, okay.
And Stats Boy?
Yeah, D's by 39. I don't think they're going to cover the line. Hawks, just can't trust them there. Yeah, like Leo said, I think they were good against Essendon. Probably could have beaten them, but this is a much bigger step up.
Yeah.
Their defense as well, right? You think about the Hawks defense versus the Melbourne defense.
Yeah.
And there's one clear winner in that, in those two sort of
That's the
factors,
one with
right?
Sam Frost.
Definitely not.
Bit of a tough one. All right, so we're all taking the D's to win.
Yeah.
Sydney Essendon Saturday evening up at the SCG. The Swans are the hottest team in the AFL at the moment, basically, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely smashed.
They are. They look, yeah.
Beat the Pies. In terms of looks, I mean, if only Chad Warner still had his old haircut.
Yeah.
Well, they got Heaney.
They do have Heaney. He's looking great. Yeah. He's getting weird questions.
They got a lizard.
They
got a lizard.
They got a lizard.
But
a 5-goal head start. 29.5 point line up against the Bomb Rays. The Swans have been fantastic to start the year. There's no two ways around it. They've looked incredible. The Dons up and down last week, but they eventually got the job done against your beloved Hawthorn, Leo. You were at that game. How did you find Essendon?
Well, it felt like every time we scored, they would score straight away from a centre bounce. It happened at least 6 times, I think.
Stringer was in there.
I don't think Sydney will let that happen. And as the game went on, we were cramping. They looked fitter in hot conditions. So I think in terms of that aspect, they may be able to run with the Swans a bit more.
Yep.
But Sydney will be a lot more disciplined in that they will not allow any stoppage goals whatsoever. So
they do bring back Laverty, Draper, Parrish, which is pretty big, Nick Hind. Zach Reed leaves with the pinged calf, wasn't it, or hammy?
Hammy,
that's right.
The Redman, Mason Redman, suspended. Guelphy out as well, and Harrison Jones admitted. In for the Swans, Corey Warner.
Yes.
In for Robbie Fox.
No, I think we're under. Those ins are massive.
Laverty, Draper, Parrish, and Hind. It's not bad.
Parrish and Draper. Laverty has to come in as a backup,
but I don't think he's
Draper and Parrish are definitely some of their better players. So.
I'm keen to see how Draper goes with Goldstein, actually, if that actually
works. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Because Goldie is literally, his whole career has been a one
forward.
Yeah. He's a good accurate kick from these North days, but he didn't play much forward at North because he literally just would run all day for North.
We had last year, we had Swans versus the Dons. In a tight one, 99-101, right? And I think that
always have close games.
That was down here. So that was in the middle of July. Swans won it by 2 points. They are the hottest team in the AFL. Can you back Essendon to pull off a weird upset? What do you think?
You can back it, but you're not smart.
You're not going to win any money, or you're not going to win a tip. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, look, I think they can keep it relatively close. Like, they have enough talent there to do that, and I think they're fit enough to, but you just can't go against this Swans team, can you?
No, the Swans look amazing. They look like the best team in the comp by a mile at the moment. So.
Essendon 1-9 at the SCG in their last 10. So
not great.
The weird thing is, though, the 7 of the last 9, they've this match has been decided by 10 points or less.
Really?
They love close games. These two.
That's a great stat.
Oh, thank you. That's what I'm here for. But I think they're gonna get absolutely smashed. I'm going Swans by 33 because they tout up Collingwood. Surely they can do the same against Essendon.
Leo?
Yeah, I've got the Swans by 23, so I think it'll be relatively close.
All right.
I'm going Swans 13. I think it's much closer than you two. So they cover the Bombers, obviously cover that one. I feel like there was a lot more upside on that team last week, and if you bring in the guys that they brought in, just hopefully they just use it a little bit better. Nick Martin was butchering it last week.
I think he won't butcher it as much as last
Mason
week.
Redman, they'll use him more.
Yeah.
SCG, not a happy hunting ground for the Bombers, but I think this will be a tight, fun game on Saturday night. Sunday, we're going to B-Town!
You're
California!
Your place, mate.
That's where I had my
I've never heard that
my
one.
10-year... They're playing at the same place I had my 10-year high school reunion.
Really?
This is great, yeah.
Really?
Well, it's Northern Oval, Mars Stadium.
Yep.
Checks out. 1 p.m. I mean, the cool thing is it's still March. This is the best time to play in Ballarat where it's not freezing. There's not sleet. You're not out there just going, I wish I had my drawers.
Why are the players wearing gloves today?
It's horrible gear up there usually, but we have the Western Bulldogs taking on the Gold Coast. So, a storied tradition rivalry, I guess.
The Dogs have had a lot of players go up.
Exactly. The Dogs have had a lot of people just leave in general.
Yeah.
So that's how they roll. God bless their cotton socks. But the offense for the Dogs last year was 10th. from what we saw last week against them, decent first half, and then it all just fell apart.
Oh, they were never really in it. It was one of those games where it was 20-point margin, 20-point margin.
They were leading by like 3 goals early.
And in the first 5 minutes, and then it sort of went downhill a bit. I don't know. The sun.
Yeah, that game cast is like, whoa.
Yeah, the worm was going all over the shop.
Here we go. It's a weird one. In terms of like the Gold Coast coming down, they've looked awesome, obviously, the first 2 weeks. Leo, how do you feel about your beloved Gold Coast Suns coming down
Wait, what?
to Ballarat?
I'm a Suns fan now. I think this will be a really good game. I think the Suns have been awesome to start the year. Great midfield core.
Yeah.
They need to fix up their that sort of quarter where they just be like, oh, we'll let you back into the game.
I know, they've done that every week, haven't they?
Nearly let you win.
Yeah.
Dogs need to respond, though. This is a huge game for the Dogs. They need to come out and win this. If they lose this, the questions just
the media, including this show, will be going off about
What is Bevo doing?
Bevo might be out if they lose this one.
He's going to sit the bont. He's going to play Trelaw in a back pocket. Who knows? Could be absolute chaos in California on Sunday.
Oh, no.
Love B-Town. It's a weird one because I think the Suns beat them 84-77 last year. Suns are 1-2 all-time in Ballarat. The Dogs...
They've played there 3 times in Ballarat.
Yeah,
that is
this
random.
is it. I told you, story, tradition, rivalry. The Dogs, however, have beaten them 4 of the last 5 times they've played. Okay. This is a very different Suns team. They've got a different coach. Can they start the season 3-0, gentlemen, is the big question.
Yeah.
I say they can't. I think they come down south, they fall apart. I think we see the Dogs go to their vaguely happy hunting ground of Mars Stadium and facing all the pressure that they're under, actually stand up and actually have a good game. I think they beat the Suns.
Really?
Not by much. I think
Close
we get a pretty nice one. I think the line is 8.5 in terms of the Dogs are actually favourite, which, to be honest, they probably shouldn't be. In fact, it's weird that they are.
If this was up in the Gold Coast would be heavy favourites.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like, just in terms of this, I'm still going to go the Dogs. I think it's by 2 goals, so about 12 points.
Ooh.
Leo?
Suns by 3. I think it'll remain pretty close here. Also, just worth noting, it looks like Jed Walter, pick 2 in last year's draft, is going to make his debut.
I saw that, yes.
He's listed in the 18, so excited to see how he goes alongside Ben King.
Where's Mac Andrew listed? Is he on the bench or is he on the field?
He's on the bench.
Okay, I really wouldn't mind him getting the game as well. I really rate his intercept marking in defence.
It'd be hard to get over Ballard and Collins, though.
True. Very good point.
For the Dogs, sorry, Stats guy. They've also got Sam Darcy coming in, which is fun.
Yeah. Is he listed
on
the
bench?
Extended bench for the Sunday games. Oscar Baker.
We'd love to see him play.
Oscar Baker's the most Ballarat of all of the Western Bulldogs players, I'll tell you that much.
Is he from Ballarat?
No, I don't know if he is, but he definitely feels like he could be. That's
he just
my point,
sounds
right?
like it. Yeah, okay.
Nice one. Who are you tipping here? Taylor Girea, Caleb Poulter, Inns as well. Obviously, Harms is out with the suspension. Malcolm Rosas is out for the Suns as well.
Can we talk about that for a second? He headbutted his old mate in Stephen May, didn't he? Isn't that what it was?
Well, if you were playing on a different team, I'd probably headbutt you as well.
Yeah, that's why.
Banter.
I'll get HR.
Just dudes being blokes. What are you talking about? Just guys being dudes. Settle down.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm going the Suns by 8. I think a lot of people talk up the Dogs midfield. The Suns, I think, have a better midfield at the moment.
That's a good point.
More depth in that midfield than the Dogs, which I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true, especially when McRae's not even playing. So, yeah, I'm going to go the Suns.
I just feel like the shine comes off the sun a little bit in this one. Ooh. It's in Ballarat. That's how it works.
Yeah. Actually, the Suns
so cold.
The Suns never come out there, so can they win?
Entire childhood was cold. Anyway, Richmond versus Port Adelaide at the MCG on Sunday afternoon. This is a fascinating setup where you have a power team that was wildly inaccurate in round 1.
Oh my God! I know.
And you have a Richmond team that pushed Carlton all the way to the point where you've got, I don't know, folks feeling like they should get behind the Tigers, which just feels gross to me, and I'm just not on board. But obviously the Tigers, the downswing, is just still looking very scrappy. They have a game under Lynch and Martin's belts now. How do we feel about this one, gentlemen? Stats guy, what do you like about this one?
Yeah, I think the line is, I think, too short, in my opinion, for Port Adelaide minus 12.5. I think they're a great team, obviously, right up there last year. I think Carlton are just going to do that all year, where they just match the level of the team they play. And I don't think it was Richmond playing that good. It's just Carlton going, oh yeah, we got to only stay within 2 goals of this team because that's what we do. You look back 2 weeks ago, they got smashed by the Suns and they looked horrible. Probably should have lost by a lot more other than the Suns fading away. So I think that line should be a lot bigger. And it is at the MCG, which helps them. If this was at Adelaide Oval, it would be a lot worse off for them. But yeah, I don't think I can trust Richmond. That's why.
Port has won 12 straight interstate when it's actually been the favourite.
12 straight.
12
wow.
straight.
It's a great start.
Yeah.
That's why they call me the stats guy.
Yeah. So you can take it.
Nice. Leo, what are you looking at for this one?
Yeah, well, at parts last week, Richmond showed that they were competitive. I think they got their contested style going when they were on top around the ball. Taranto, Hopper, Thompson, Dow, Baker, these contested guys were great. It was just the outside where they would
sloppy,
they'd get cut open.
Yeah.
I think Port have a lot more speed than Carlton on the outside to expose that. So I think they'll win. But in saying that, there's just something about Port. I think that'll keep this close.
Oh.
And I think Port win, but Richmond cover.
It's a great call.
Interesting.
Because I completely agree with that. Like the 12.5, it just feels like Richmond will just drag you down.
Yeah.
Oh, you reckon?
Bring you into it.
Okay.
In terms of the ins and outs for this one, we have the Tigers.
Lots of ins, but
Lots
that's because
of
it's a
ins.
Sunday
With the
game.
extended Sunday bench, you got Tom Brown, Ben Miller, Sam Banks.
No good ins, to be fair.
McKelty, Lefebvre.
Nothing that makes you go, Richmond might win.
Oh,
this."
Juddy Clark, Samson Ryan. They obviously lose Gibkiss, which sucks, and Dion Prestier as well. Tyler Young too.
Georgiades?
For the Port, it was Georgiades, Jason Burgoyne. Jace Burgoyne.
Jace.
Yeah, his name's just Jace.
Just Jace, mate.
Is that a Ballarat name?
That
as well?
definitely
That
is a
feels
Ballarat.
yeah.
I feel like I went to school with about 87 Jaces. Dylan Williams, Jordan Sweet, Jed McEntee's out. How do we feel about this? Richmond cover, Port win.
Ooh, I'm going to go Port 41. I'm going, that would be my big calls later.
Port
That
41.
41 like points I reckon they'll win by. I don't know. I'm looking back to 2 weeks ago when Richmond looked horrible. Carlton, as I said, just match them. So I think they're going to be back to that same first round sort of vibe where they're just going to get absolutely smashed. And everyone from the predictions, we all predicted Richmond to be really bad. Now we think they're going to be all right? No.
Well,
don't think
no,
so.
we still think they're going to lose.
I know, but you think they're going to be all right and like cover the line.
Well, in
yeah.
periods last week, they actually did all right.
They did all right. I
So,
know.
I think they can do that again.
All right, fair enough.
Port at the G, 5-5 over the last 5 years.
Yeah, actually, I
bad.
went to one of their wins last year when they beat Essendon after the siren. That was awesome.
Cool story.
Yeah, thanks. It's a football show, you.
All right, and then final game, because we're, of course, missing my beloved Carlton this week and Brisbane both on round 2 byes. Thanks, Andrew Gillen Dillon. West Coast versus GWS. What a barn burner to bring it home on Sunday night.
I know.
The question here is, GWS are somehow only favoured by 46.5 points. This comes after the West Coast Eagles lose my beloved Oscar Allen 2+ goals.
I know. Who's going to kick their goals?
To an injury. And they bring in Ryan Merrick, Tyrell Dewar.
The what?
Jermaine Jones and Harry
Jermaine Jones is decent.
Barnett. Yeah.
Marriage is decent.
The Giants, it's like, again, with the extended bench, you've got James Peatling, Ryan Angwin, Lachlan Keefe, Toby Mullen. They lose Nick Haynes. But obviously, I think for me, the Eagles, losing Oscar Allen, their captain. Do you just promote Harley Reid to the captain right now?
Yeah, well,
just do it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the injury was him getting him in a headlock, like you predicted, Jim. I think it was Harley Reid's going, this is my team.
Yep.
Where they're living together, so that, who knows? I reckon that's what happened.
Harley Reid was pretty good last week as well.
He was.
Enjoyed that a lot. They still have, West Coast still have, a couple of the vets healthy at the moment. For now,
but they're not good anymore.
They're just not that good, are they?
No.
Jeremy McGovern,
He's still all right,
good on you.
Who else we got?
It's
The Waterboy, Waterman.
Elliot
Yo. He's still good.
And Tim Kelly. It just feels like the Giants are absolutely just curb stomping teams at the moment. So the question for me is by how much? Could it be more than a ton?
Yes.
It could be.
I'm going to take GWS 88. Look, West Coast at home, they tend to play substantially better.
Yeah.
We saw it last year. They nearly beat St Kilda over there out of nowhere. And you're like,
North.
all right, beat North.
Yeah, that's not hard. We were 17. So.
Just wanted to remind you.
Yeah, thanks.
It's a bit of a tricky one, though, but the way the GWS are playing, the Avalanche is real. So going the Giants, it is a big, big sound, and it's from the west of the country. Leo?
Yeah, Giants by 73. Ooh. I don't think Eagles will give a team a scare this week.
Interesting.
I meant to write this in. I meant instead of 55, I'm going Giants by 65. I think they're going to easily cover that line. I agree with you, Jim. The line is a little bit too slim there. So Giants look awesome. They're looking like the two best. Them and Sydney. The two Sydney teams look like the best teams at the moment. And West Coast will be filthy. They have to come up with them in their second game.
Yeah, all Sydney grand final. Lock it in.
That'd be pretty cool.
But Jesse Hogan, he already has how many goals? 10?
10.
Could he kick another 10 now?
Ooh,
why not?
That's a big call.
Well, it's literally a big call. We're going straight into the big call.
Oh, nice.
For the weekend ahead.
I don't
That's
mind
right.
10, yeah. He kicked 6 against us. So.
Hogan, 10 goals. We saw Charlie do it last year against West Coast out there, out west. So I feel like Hogan, he is the absolute bolter for the Coleman, obviously, because he's already got 10, and it's not even round 2. That's a record. On a record pace. But to be fair, I feel like, he could absolutely light up this West Coast team. He lit up your guys last week, right? And
did really well against the Pies.
Like, what are we doing here? Hogan's unreal. So I think he goes for the double digits, at least 10. At least I'm saying Jesse Hogan. My other honorary mention, big call, is the North win. I think that's going to be
anytime
hilarious.
you say North win, that is a huge call. So
Nice one. All right, Stats Boy, what's your big call for the weekend ahead?
I already mentioned it, but Port 40 plus against Richmond. I just think they're going to go back to that round 1 vibe that they were bringing out. Was really poor. And Tom Lynch was lucky with a couple of goals, so I don't think he's going to go too well. And the midfield of the Power look really good against the Tigers, so I think they're going to absolutely tear it up. Butters and Rosie to get 30 each, and Port absolutely smash them.
So you're saying they've got the power to win?
They got the power to win.
By a lot.
Yes.
All right, Leo, what's your big call?
Max Gawn will get 30 plus disposals.
I like that. That was good.
Oh, yeah, sorry. We didn't really give you much credit, but that's... I don't know,
man.
I don't know if it was. It was all right.
Sorry, Leo.
No, it was good.
It was fine.
It was all right. Max Gawn will get 30 plus disposals against the Hawks.
Oh.
Maximus Aurelius Gornicus is going to have 30 plus.
He's only hit 30 plus 2 times in his career. He hit 29 against Hawthorn, I think, 2 seasons ago. Playing against Ned Reeves, who is as useless as a stats guy as a ruck.
Oh, he's a pretty big Gumby.
I think
he's a big Gumby.
Gawn's going to have a huge day out here. 30, maybe chuck in a goal. Why not? Like, he's going to go big.
Okay. Perfect.
We'll get into SuperCoach in just a second, but it's like, holding on to Gawn was the smartest thing you could possibly have done after last week, right?
Yeah, well, some people don't have him, Leo. Is that right?
Oh, geez.
Scoot past that one.
Pretty unsmart to do so, though. All right, so outside of the big call, what is the one thing we're keeping an eye on this week? We've got a few of them here. Obviously, tomorrow night, are the Crows going to continue their dominance at Adelaide Oval? They looked absolutely unbeatable there for like the back half of last season. Like, gather around, they had like a chaos sort of weekend, and then from there, it just went from strength to strength to strength. Can they keep it up? Geelong is an amazing test for them, I think, in their Geelong, first home game, right?
Although they weren't great last year, they still have a really good list. So if they beat Geelong, everyone will be like, maybe they're still just as good as last year. Maybe they can make the finals. So I think this is a massive game from tomorrow night,
Nice one. Tom Lynch against a tall backline is a pretty interesting one as well for the Tigers. How are we feeling about Tom Lynch? Are we going to keep an eye on him this week? What do you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as Stats Guy mentioned, few 50-50 free kicks last week.
Yeah, I reckon 50-50?
10-9.
I thought about 90-10. Jeez.
They were very soft.
I thought they were 50-50.
Fair enough.
And on Lewis Young, who had one of the all-time shockers, I think, this will be a great test for him and see how he goes.
Tom Lynch I actually thought about Tom Lynch for my big call and go, all right, this is when Lynch just asserts himself once more and just goes.
He's got a decent backline Port, though.
But that's the problem. I think against a team like Port, it's the one thing. It's like, give him one more week and he'll go bang like the next game. So, and then the other one is keep an eye on the Dogs.
Bevo's job.
Just to be honest, this is the sort of one team that you could sort of see spiral out of control. It feels like this season, where they've got a really, really high profile, name-studded list where they have underachieved time after time after time. They start 0-2. It could go from worst to worst to worst.
But then this is what they've done the last 3 years. They could start 0-2 and then they win 4 in a row. And they lose another one they shouldn't. It's so hard to read.
But I feel like it's like, you know, Stats Guy, your family.
My dad's not happy, or my uncle. A lot of my family's not happy.
I think a lot of that inconsistency is what kills them, right? Yeah. It's that simple idea of like, can we just have like a very solid, simple approach to what we're doing?
Because at their best, like Dog supporters would know, everyone knows this. They're really, really good to watch, and it's just they don't show that for 4 quarters, which is very frustrating.
They just need to play every game at Marvel.
Yeah, they are much better at Marvel.
They'll be fine.
Maybe stay away from Ballarat because their record there is not very good.
It's not too bad, I think. But look, how the Dogs respond is going to be fascinating. All right, but finally, before we get into the actual footy, which will be tipping off in just a little bit, SuperCoach for round 2. We actually have people on the bubble in round 2, which feels weird. Yeah. So you've got a few rookies, a few other folks out there like me. I've had to move heaven and earth to get there.
He's already used the booster.
I've already gone the boost.
I don't know about that.
Stats Boy, on the SuperCoach official program, I did run it by the Brains Trust.
Okay.
All right. Is it yay or nay, boost or no boost? And it's like, you can use a boost if you want. It's like, you can't take a boost into next season. So you may as well use it when you need to.
All right. It's only round 2, though.
I basically had to bring in the Heen machine by any way I could. And I feel like I already pulled the trigger on moving out the Warlord, George Wardlaw.
Yeah.
I love him, but I feel like his role from what we saw last week.
He's more an impact player, not big scoring.
Exactly. You've got Cheezel out there causing all sorts of havoc. You've got LDU. You've got McKercher and stuff like that.
They'll score big,
who I feel like can score at least, maybe better than Wardlord.
Yeah, definitely.
A bunch of the time, but he had to go. So I'm like, all right, Heen machine, he's going to go so much up in price in that forward line. It's just invaluable cash, I think, in that spot right away that I had to do it. So the rest of it, who are we looking at? Tom Berry?
Yeah, Leo was talking about him.
Tom Berry because he's going up in price this week. So very good rookie to jump on.
Yeah, Bubble Boys.
Jeez. 163,000, which is really cheap. I just wrote down, I think you got to hold strong on Nick Martin, Hayden Young. I saw on the SuperCoach official site, everyone's getting rid of him this week. Nick Martin, he would have got a decent score if he didn't butcher the ball. He doesn't usually butcher it as bad, so he would have got an 85-plus score.
There is a point here for me to make where I did have my stocks down on Nick Martin because I was all wrapped up in Nick Martin heading into this,
so
and it was such a disappointment. Because he had heaps of the ball, and he just massacred it. It's like, can you just not?
Yeah.
Week 1, man, you're killing me.
He had 18 touches
so my
for
stock for him dropped dramatically. I've also got Hayden Young. And so that was a kick in the guts too.
Yeah.
So
I think you'll be all right.
I think, I'm staying strong with both of them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trading them out. Wardlaw was a different thing for me. I looked at both Martin and Young as like the trade out things for trying to move the money around for Heaney.
Yep.
But staying strong with Martin and Young, I'm fine with that. Good call, stats guy.
Yep.
My stock was just down on both. I'm just saying.
Fair.
Just
Fair call.
All right, Captain's Corner. Who are we looking at? Obviously, if you don't have the VC on Nick Dacos tonight already, get a wriggle on.
Nick Dacos at the G is a lock for the whole season, I think.
He's gone, 132, 135 in the first 2 weeks already.
So, does it so easy.
If he goes 130 plus, you can obviously put the captain on Tom Green for the West Coast game. The last game of the thing, but at the same time, if Dacos goes for 130 plus,
the annoying thing is, I wish Gorm was playing in the Thursday night one because I think he's going to get more than 130, and Dacos usually you can bank. So I'm hoping Dacos gets around 150 because I reckon Gorm could, as Leo mentioned before, absolutely
could set a new record.
New record? I think the record.
I think it was Buddy's 13.
No, I think Jonathan Brown has a massive 250 plus goal. I'll have to look into that, but yeah.
Well, it's going to be Max Gorn on Saturday.
Is that what you're doing for your for the record? Okay.
Yeah, for the record.
Yeah, there you go.
I wish I was doing it. I don't have Gorn because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you don't have Gorn. Yeah, do you want to talk about that?
Feasibly, could you vice captain Gorn
and then captain Green,
and then go into Green?
That's I think that's not a bad idea as well. There we go. Jonathan Brown is the record, 262 against Hawthorn.
You'd probably loophole that. I'm just saying. Probably.
Yeah.
But I've already got Dacos locked in for the VC. I think. The Gorn thing is a great call, but Dacos is that good at the G, even against the Saints who are a little bit, choke you out. I'm still okay with that. Leo wants to know that if you don't have Gorn, you're an idiot. Like him.
Yeah.
So you're just saying to people out there, if you can get him.
Yeah,
don't be like you.
Don't be like me, who started Grundy and Sherry.
Sherry actually did really well.
Sherry did
and
well,
he'll make a lot of money.
But Gorn has Ned Reeves.
You tried to Galaxy Brain it, and you completely cooked it. So great job. Luke Jackson, owners, nervy.
Yeah.
This was an interesting one because I think against Brisbane last week, you've got right to be nervy, but he scored okay last week.
Scored 113. This was more Longmuir's comments today. He's been floating the idea of bringing in a ruck and putting Jackson forward because Jackson has had a pre-season as a forward and not a ruck. But Luke Jackson is a ruck at the end of the day, so just bloody play him there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you have so many SuperCoach owners riding on it.
You should play him there just for SuperCoach, no other reason.
Well, he's better than the guy he's talking about bringing in.
That's true. He brought in Josh Draper, I think. He's about the same height, but he's a back. He's a key defender.
Yeah,
so
I think.
That's what it says online.
Yeah. And the last little bit is Massimo D'Ambrosio.
Oh, I'm trying to fit him in, but
wait a week. I'm waiting on this week.
You can't wait a week.
You don't have to just rush out and do everything right now. It's okay. I did that for the Heen machine because he's about to rise. D'Ambrosio's got at least one more week. You get to kick the tires one more time. He does have that massive 122 in his score cycle though. So next week will be we'll see what happens.
Be very good.
but should be awesome. But should be a massive. I love round 2 when it comes to SuperCoach. It's just let's go.
Let's go.
Let's see what happens. See how many times the rookies can completely screw us over. Anyway, that's it for the team show, the AFL Today show for this week. Of course, check out AFL Today across all of the socials and all that sort of good gear, and all of our other shows, the Cricket Today podcast, the Football Today podcast, NBA Australia, hosted by yours truly. Go check out the AFL SuperCoach official channel as well. All the good stuff there. And in terms of all of our other social gear, you can go just give us a peep on the old Instagram and TikTok. Leo does a lot of work. He does more work than I do, that's for sure. Yep. I just sit here and be handsome. Yeah, it's not hard. Bang. Just tell you. But otherwise, anything else you wanted to say there, Dingai?
No, I think go north. We're back.
Nice one. Well, it is a fantastic setup for round 2. Can't wait for the footy to tip off just over there. It's just a quick couple of kicks over there,
away,
over the Yarra. But thank you, Leo, for jumping on.
Cheers, Jim.
You're doing a lot more work than Alex, I'll tell you that much. I can't make the Thursday shows.
Where's he gone, by the way?
Yeah, he's early comments, yeah.
He's in a state coma by now.
Yeah, probably.
And Stats Guy, thank
you.
Nice one. Well, subscribe, like all the shows across all of your podcast apps. Get around them all on YouTube and stuff like that. Just get around them like Tony Plugger-Lockett and the 6th dog in the 4th race, the Daptos. I love that. Anyway, that's it. We'll catch you Sunday night for the wrap-up show for round 2. After all of the 8 games are finished, we'll talk out all 8 of those.
After West Coast beat GWS. Yeah.
Yep. Well, we'll probably, we'll be cutting in live for that one too, I think, on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Is that what's happening, Gerald? We're doing a live stream for that too. Either way, we'll be doing this each week as well for the AFL Teams program. We'll be going live every Thursday and Sunday night. So we'll catch you later on the end of this weekend for more AFL Today. Until then, look after yourselves and remember, footy's back!